Welcome everyone again. Rob, if you would, if other people come in, will you drop that link to the note taker in for me?
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Welcome everyone to this month's ELD check-in. Whoa, go too many pages. As always, these are our community agreements, just that we agree to stay engaged and just take part. Don't be afraid to say what you need to say. And we may not accomplish everything we set out to, but we will work on it. I found a nice quote for this time. I thought this was good for the start of the year. Being a student is easy, but learning requires actual work. And isn't that the truth? Not just for students, but for us as well. So here's what we're going to look at today. I put the link already to the note taker. I'm going to give just this welcome to you again. And we're going to look at some WIDA updates, some DESE resources, and then some PD opportunities available to you at this first part of the year. If you're not familiar with them, these are our blueprint for EL success that you'll find on the DESE ELD webpage. Each time we meet, I try to highlight the things that we're going to be talking about in this session. So today we're going to look at kind of our shared responsibility, some asset-based teaching and learning, being effective and well-prepared, culturally responsible educators, having high standards for ELs, making sure you have the resources that you need, and some academic and linguistic supports. So those are kind of the things we're going to touch on today. First thing we're going to talk about is the kindergarten screener. So the WAPT is formally retired. No one should be using it from now on. We have the brand new WIDA kindergarten screener that is what is going to be required from this year and beyond. You need to make sure you have completed that training in order to give the kindergarten screener. And we just got an information from WIDA the other day that said, if you took the screener like at the end of last school year or early this summer, and your test results are on the previous year, you don't have to go through the training again, but they would like for you to take the assessment again for the 22-23 school year. So that's something new to me, and I'm passing that along.
Tammy.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask you to say that again. So you're saying you need to get recertified to get the screener every year?
They're asking, WIDA has asked that if you took the initial training at the end of last school year or during the summer, that you take the assessment again. I don't know why. And I've told people this year that if they took it this summer, not to worry about it. I think we're going to leave that as a school district decision. But if you don't have that 22-23 certification, they have asked that that they have recommended or asked that you take that assessment part of it again. Don't have to go through the entire process, but take the test. So that was in our most recent email from WIDA.
So like somebody asked me recently, do my EL teachers need to be recertified to get the screener each year? And I said, no. I said it's not a bad idea to be, make sure you know what you're doing. But if you've already completed the training once, you don't have to redo it every year.
Yes.
I said you do for access, but you don't have to. So we're still okay with that. It's just if you took the test at the end of the year over the summer, they want you to retake it.
That's what they ask, but it's our state policy for the screener that you only have to take it once and pass. And then it's up to your school district how often they require you to retake the screener assessment.
Okay.
But access, yes, you have to take every year. The screener, it's kind of up to your district how often you take it.
All right.
All right.
Mhm.
So on this page, I've given you all the links for where to go for the screener training and going to the website, where you look. There's also a calculator for getting that the score report, and it will print out a nice report for you. You can download the assessment and use your own downloaded copies, or you can buy a kit from the WIDA store on their website. And all of these links are active. You can go and look at those if you haven't already. So that's available for you there. Some other updates from WIDA. These first two are links that take you to some new standards materials that they have developed. I'm giving you a sneak peek because they're not going to release them, I think, until next week. This first one is called Case Network, and all it does is it takes the WIDA standards and breaks them down a little bit further and gives you a more succinct picture of what they are. It would be good for curriculum development and needing just that statement. It also gives you some ideas and some facts to help you. And the second one is very similar, just a different platform, but basically the same information. But I wanted to give you those two just so you could peruse them and see if they might be helpful to your district. And then the next thing's a big yay. They've reinstated their data dashboard. It's back, so you can go on the secure portal and get that state report showing you how you've done in relation to the state as a whole. So when you have your information, you can look at that. It gives you the proficiency bands, and so that you can plot your students' growth.
I couldn't find it the other day.
You couldn't. Let me see if I can get to it, because I was able to navigate straight to it. Give me just a second here.
Okay.
And I'll see if I can get to it, and we'll look.
I'll try to.
Let me log on to the secure portal, and I'll open my screen up here in just a second. All right, let me share. Let's stop sharing this screen and share my other screen here. All right, so this is what my screen looks like after I have logged in. I have assessment training, professional learning, webinars, resources, certification. Down here at the very bottom of the screen, you'll see next to WIDA, it says data dashboard.
I did not look down there.
Ah, there you go.
All right.
So if you click on it, it gives you, they've created this new kind of, they've expanded the access demographics. So it gives you a little bit more information there. These are just telling you where we fall in each proficiency level. And then there's those growth charts. And they've also listed the most recent NAEP performance for you as well.
Good deal. I didn't
All right.
see that button down there at the bottom. All right.
Not a problem. All right, go ahead and sign out of that. And we'll go back to the other screen. Anyway, it's really good. I'm happy they brought it back. It helps all of us know where we are. Something else they've reported that's new, the kindergarten access and the access for grades 1 through 12. They are going to be online, and a new version is going to be online and operational. They're planning for 2025-26, and they're going to start doing some field testing in 2023-24. And on the note taker, I put some information on what what we're doing as far as item writing, and they're generating themes. So they're just completely rebuilding the access test to fit the new 2022 standards. So we're going to do item writing, some standards framework look, content reviews, bias and sensitivity reviews, that field test and pilot test, forms review, classroom observations, and cognitive labs. So that's all on the WIDA side. As far as DESE, we're also going to do an alignment and sensitivity and bias, a blueprint review, content review, passage review. So we're going to look at what they've done and do our own review of it as well. So if you'd like to take part on down past where I list all the things that we're going to take part in, are a couple of forms that you can click on and sign up if you're interested. So that is there on the note taker. So another change that they've made is we no longer have those model performance indicators like we used to use. They now have what they call ALFs, assigned language functions. And basically what that is this statement where it says like ELD MA 4.5, explain interpretive, and then it tells you what you're working on. So it's kind of like your objective for ELD. And it looks like our standards in the Missouri Learning Standards, where it has that kind of code that you use. So anyway, they're calling those our ALFs, assigned language functions. Some new term for you to use. And again, those are selected from the most prominent key language uses that inform, narrate, explain, and argue. So that's where the ALFs will come from. Okay. The next thing, another change that they're going to make is they're looking at the writing assessment and the speaking assessment more in depth. Writing is changing to where they only have 2 folders per test form. So I think now some of them have 3 or 4 items that you work on. Now they're each are only going to have 2. There'll be one that's language arts related and one that is science related. So when they are writing, they're going to be writing on those 2 areas. I think actually they had a math before as well in some of the grade levels. So anyway, they will only have 2 folders per test form. So that's kind of nice. That'll be a little easier for the students, I think, to work on just 2 topics. And then the speaking scores, the speaking assessment, they've really been doing a lot of inquiry and research on how we perceive the speaking assessment. And because students are notoriously not doing well on the speaking test, and they're trying to find out why and what they can do to change that, and if they need to adjust things. So they've already developed a tier A speaking new test item. So they feel like, I think it's at the end of the tier A speaking assessment, they've added this one more that they feel will give a better picture of how the students are and whether they need to advance or not. And then they're looking more in depth at the rest of them to see if there are other adjustments and tweaks that they can make in the way that it's delivered or the way that it is scored. Or the way that students are able to respond. So they're looking at all different aspects of it to try to make it a better assessment. Also, they're going to be updating your score reports that you get. You get the student report, and at the bottom of the report right now, it is tied to those can-do statements that tell at this level, the student should be able to do this. Well, with the future reports, it's going to be tied to the new performance level descriptors that we have with the 2020 standards framework. So that's coming as well in the near future. I don't know if they'll have that ready with our next score reports or not. They just said that they will be changing it. The next thing on the agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about our professional learning offerings from WIDA. This year, we have gone back to the self-paced learning, but we've added on some add-on resources. So you'll have like a study guide that goes along with it, and some opportunities, I think, for collaboration if you wish to do so. And that's with your self-paced learning. And on the note taker, I included a flyer for the self-paced workshop that gives you a breakdown of what all is being offered. And these are open to any educator in the state of Missouri. You just have to either contact my office or contact your district test coordinator, and they can get any teacher a sign-on link where they can get into the secure portal. If they're not an EL teacher, they probably, their permissions on that page will only be for this self-paced workshop or any other WIDA training that they sign up for. So they can just have access to these workshops and these trainings if you wish. And you can do these self-paced workshops and lessons as a group. You could have it as a professional learning workshop in your own school district, however you want to set that up. It doesn't have to just be one person doing it on their own. You could have it as a group study, kind of like a book study type thing, and discuss it and just drag them out as long as you want them to go. So it's kind of up to you how you approach that. But they will be available starting the end of August or September 1st, and they run through the end of August of 2023. And if you participated in any of last year's WIDA workshops, they are only available until August 31st. So our contract with them for the year runs from September to August 31st. So anything that you attended last year, if you want some of those resources, you need to go on before August 31st and download them. And then this new self-paced learning package will start September 1st. We also have, two facilitated learning things that we're going to do this year. One is this language specialist engaging multilingual newcomers, and it is already on the calendar. And I listed information about it on the note taker. It runs October 17th, 25th, and November 7th. So it's a 3-part workshop. They will run from 3:30 to 5 on those 3 dates, and you need to attend all 3. And if you go to our DESE curriculum calendar, that's where you sign up for it. And you would look for the October 17th date. That's where the sign up button is for that. And we'll get to where that calendar is in a little bit. But it gives the requirements and all of the information on the note taker for you. And then the second thing that's listed here, this teacher leaders planning with a new WIDA standards framework. And we're looking for people who consider themselves to be teacher leaders, who might be interested in attending these sessions. And if you think you would like to know more about the standards framework and maybe be someone that could be a teacher leader and help other teachers when they're trying to implement and plan with the new framework, please talk to one of the male specialists and let them know that you're interested, because we are limited to a small group, and this is going to be a very in-depth look at the standards, preparing these people to help other people understand them. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. All right. And then, as this says, I really appreciate you, and I know that we all need each other to get the work that we're doing done. Your regional specialists, as I said, are there to help you. Please contact them anytime you come up with something that you're not really sure what the answer is. They're happy to help you. If they don't know, they'll contact me. And you're welcome to call me as well or email me as well, and I'm happy to help you also. The second thing on the list here is Edmodo. I don't know if you got the notice, but Edmodo is going out of business. So all of those things that we have saved there on the site, I'm going to have to download and find another platform to support them. So I will be, like I said, downloading all of those things, and I don't know. I haven't quite decided what we will utilize for that information in the future, but we'll figure something out. And if you have suggestions of something similar to Edmodo that you've had success with, let me know and we'll look into that. But Edmodo is retiring and will be no more. I think it was end of September. Not good. We do also have Facebook and Twitter. So we will continue posting things there. I posted today the Facebook link saying that our meeting was today. And we also have a quarterly mail newsletter. If you haven't been getting that, make sure and contact your mail representative, your specialist in your region, and they will get you on the list so that you can receive that. These are active links that will take you to each of those. And I just updated our new one for summer of 2022. So this is an active link to our current that will give you a more in-depth idea of what's going on with each of the mail specialists and in our state as well. It has a lot of the things that we're talking about today on it. The next thing I wanted to look at was our DESE website. So if you click this link, it's going to take you to the DESE website. And we have a new set of frequently asked questions. It hasn't been updated on the website yet. I've sent it to them, but they haven't gotten to it yet. So as soon as possible, they will have it linked on our new on our website. But I went ahead and gave you the link to it directly so that you will have it for your resources now. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this site so that we can look at the ELD webpage, just in case you are not very familiar with it. And I'll show you an easy way to get to it if you don't have the link. So you can go to that dese.mo.gov, and then where it says educators, kind of hover over that, and then come over here to where it says curriculum and click on curriculum. It will take you to the curriculum main page. And this is where that calendar I was talking about, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's our curriculum professional learning calendar. There's the link for today's meeting. And if you go to, I like to look at it on the month view. You can click here and pick a month. And if you look down here at the bottom, this is the upcoming secondary writing workshop that will be happening at the end of this month. And then over in September, there's our next ELD check-in listed. And then October is when this new 2 series will start. So here is our engaging multilingual newcomers on the 17th. That's where you will click to sign up for it. And you'll see there's a little button there that says sign up. So that's how you sign up using the calendar. And then if you want to get to the ELD web page, on this right-hand side where it says college and career readiness, you can scroll down to English language development, and that will take you directly to the ELD web page. And so on this page, and one of the things that I wanted to point out was under professional development. They haven't updated the dates, but I have updated the document. So this will take you to, by clicking on the ELD monthly check-ins, it will take you to the current page. And I have listed at the top our check-ins from 2020, 2021, and 21, 22. And then this is today. So there are the slides and the note taker linked on there. And after the end of our meeting, I will include the recording in the chat. So this will be, every meeting will have the same information available to you following the meeting. But that's how you find it and get to it. It's under professional development, and it will be the first tab. And as I said, they haven't updated the date on this, but they will, and it will say 22-23 soon. We'll have to also remove the Edmodo group join because that's no longer there. And I'm updating this new e-learning information with what's in your note taker today. So those a few updates that need to be processed by our IT people, but they are coming soon. That's why I went ahead and shared them in our note taker. There is that link to the blueprint that was on the beginning of our slides today. We also have EL administrative page that you can link to and the EL assessment page. So any question you have about the screener or the access or the alternate access, you can find here on this EL assessment page. And the EL administrative page will have compliance information like your allow plan and such as that. At the top of the page, this green button, if you're not signed up for the EL listserv, by clicking this and completing the information, that will get you signed up for the listserv. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted to cover from this calendar. Oh, there are still the supports for remote teaching and learning available on there. Also on the DESE webpage are these AMI migration maps, alternate means of instruction is what AMI stands for. So like if for some unknown reason you're out of school and your district has to have an AMI plan, and this just gives you some ideas on how to work with students if you are remote or can't be in the classroom. And then we also still have the MOLEAP blocks and the MOLEAP assessments that are available to school districts. We're trying to work some EL components into those. So those are available. And there's also this early code connections webpage that's now available that has some links for like preschool and those younger students. And some of them are available in Spanish as well. So I wanted you to be aware of some of these resources that are available to you. And the next thing that's on this agenda is something I wanted to make sure you're aware of. Our state just approved Senate Bill 681, and it has several things in it, but one of the ones that most pertains to you or might involve you and your students is in the Senate Bill 681 is the establishment of the Office of Literacy and the components that are part of that. So I've given you a link here to the bill, Senate Bill 681, and the part on the Office of Literacy starts on page 34. And it talks about how our state is adopting or promoting the science of reading and all of the things that as our office, we are promoting to improve literacy in our state. There has been a lot of pushback in the world of ESL or ELD about the science of reading. There is a national committee for effective literacy that has been formed to have discussions and do their own research and kind of investigate how we can best serve students based on the science of reading. So you can take a look at this first website. That's who that is. You're welcome to look and review some of the information that they share there. And I have an article here about the science of reading in dual language and also what research says about English learners and the science of reading. They're all very well written articles and give you some good background and information. And the last one is talking about the bilingual brain and what that means and as far as learning to read and how we learn to read. So some very good research articles that I thought might be of benefit to you. And then I put together this Science of Reading and English Language Learners. I think I shared it one of our later meetings last year, but I wanted to share it again. Just if you want some background information or some research to support your stance, there are a lot of links to the research behind English learners and the science of reading within this article, within this publication. And also I share this one, Core Learning put out phonics instruction for English learners. It gives you a little bit of more information on phonics, how to teach phonics to English language learners. And with that being said, not this year, but next year, if we get to do another round of letters training, it will then be open to ELD teachers so that you can get it at no cost. So you'll be able to sign up for the letters training that I think K through 5 right now are signing up. But next year, special ed and ELD should be included in those who are eligible to sign up and get that training. So if you're looking to get that training, then hold out just a little bit longer and you'll be able to get it for free, or your district will be able to send you for the training without charge. All right, some upcoming professional development. We're going to continue our monthly check-ins on the fourth Monday at 3:45. Like last year, we will not have a meeting in December. And this year in October, we're going to have our meeting on the Tuesday, the 25th, rather than Monday, the 24th, due to the WIDA workshop that's going on. They could only do it on that day, so I adjusted our check-in date for that month only. This is again that link to the curriculum calendar where you sign up for the check-ins and all of the other information, and the ELD webpage. The other professional development coming up is our federal programs conference. It will be November 14th and 15th at Tantera. Registration has not started. They're still securing all of the presenters, and they don't have that all set up yet. As soon as that's complete, I'm assuming in the next couple of weeks that will be on our webpage, and we will send it out through the listserv as well. So as I said, we'll continue our monthly check-ins. And last year, because we had the new 2020 standards framework, we focused our attention and broke that apart. This year, because of a lot of the interest in the writing a LAU plan, we're going to kind of try to do the same thing with a LAU plan and break it apart into pieces. In September, we'll look at all of the components that need to be in a LAU plan and provide you with some examples and sample LAU plans from other districts and a few from other states. There are even a few that are specific to school buildings. So we'll look at those and the components and what should be part of it. I'll provide you with a template if you're interested in using it. Then in October, we will kind of break into sessions based on the size of your school district. So we'll have breakout rooms where you can discuss your LAU plan, throw ideas out to each other, and work on your specific template to fill it in, and get some ideas from each other, kind of a work session. And I'll provide you with a note taker that has a space for each group to take notes and work together on those documents. And so the idea is by the time we get to November, you should have pretty much finalized a plan, and we'll discuss the finished products and next steps at that time. So hopefully this will give you an idea of what needs to be in a LAU plan, what changes need to be made, because your LAU plan, as far as the federal government standards, say that they should be visited annually. And when you get your access test scores, that should help you make decisions on, is your plan working? Do you need to make changes? Do you need to make adjustments? And at that time, you should look at your LAU plan and make those changes for the coming year. So that's kind of this plan from now until November. Again, no meeting in December. And then I'm going to be looking for input from you on what you would like to have us cover at the end of the school year, what subjects or what topics you're most interested in. So we're going to let you kind of guide what we talk about from there on. And then this is something else I thought would be nice to kind of do a share at the end of each session. So I'm going to start it out this time, and I've provided some things that I taught English as a second language for over 20 years. And these are some of the things that I used repeatedly and have gathered over the years. The first one are these EL proficiency cards. And so they have like an EL entering at level 1, 1.0, 1.9. These are some things you could do with them. And then I think it goes on to 2.0 and then 3.0. So it just kind of gives you some ideas of things that you can do and scaffolds you can provide. And I gave these often to the classroom teachers so that they would have this information for the students on a 3-ring punched note cards. So that's one of the resources I have here to share with you. And then I've shared this before, but this was something I went to a workshop and received. And all you have to do is any word that you want to have translated into whichever languages, you could put all of the languages that are served in your school district. You could have them all on here. And whatever term that you want translated, you type it in at the first, and it automatically translates that word into all the different languages. So if I come down here and add, I'll just change this one to say, let's see here. I'll change it to say hello and hit return. And all across, it translates that word into the different languages. And on the side here, I thought I put the link. Oh, there it is, how it works. There's a different tab. So here's a link with I think it takes you to a recording that tells you how to do this if you wanted to make your own or anything like that. And then this other one, this Sheets Translator Instructions, gives you the different language codes if you have a different language other than the one I pre-populated this worksheet with. And then I was working with the school district, and the secretaries were really concerned that they had a school calendar that they couldn't share with their families of language learners. So I took that translator sheet and turned it into a calendar. So it works the very same way. You type in your basic information here, and it automatically populates it on this side. And this one, it happens to be in Spanish, but you can change the code for this part of it into another language. So if you're interested in something like this, you can contact me if you can't figure it out, and I'll help walk you through it. But this is the same way. This whole, if you wanted to put a letter to parents, you can type it in here and it automatically translates over there. Just a cool tool that was really helpful to our secretaries. This was something, this culture information was something I put together over several years. I did a lot of digging into culturegrams, and I found some really neat things from Rhode Island College, where they had a class that did these culturegrams and published them, made them available to other people. So I put several different languages. They're very well done. And again, I shared these with classroom teachers just so they would know a little bit more about their students. So it talks about where it is in the world, their demographics, some things that are going on in their country, some facts about their schools. Some of them actually even give a few language, some phrases in their language, talk about pronunciation and things like that. But my classroom teachers found these very helpful. So some of them come from Rhode Island, and there are a couple that I developed. These were kind of those choice board type things, poster boards that I made with some of my students, and I let them do the work and created these. There's even a story you can listen being read. So those were some that my students did. I found this English dictionary. I don't remember what language this was. Chukis, I thought. But it gives English with pictures to help the students. So I thought that was kind of interesting for the students. Portuguese manual. Anyway, various culturegrams and cultural information that you can share with classroom teachers. And there are many, many languages offered there.
Cami, your folder looks more comprehensive than what I shared, but in the chat, I put a link to ELL 2.0 has like a menu of websites to learn about students.
Well, this was over several years that I put these together. So I thought, why not share them? They're just sitting in my Google folder. So
yeah, it looks like a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and this one is something we put together in the district I was in, a progress report, just to give you an idea of something you can use with classroom teachers. This happened to be for high school level 2. You could develop something like this for different grade levels. But again, my teachers found it very helpful, and it gave them a better idea of how to work with those students. So it's just a sample. And then these are some different graphic organizers I've collected over the years. I didn't check to make sure that all of them were shareable. They're all either free or something that I found that were shared at a workshop. Don't turn me into the police if I share something that's not shareable. I'll have to go back and check. This one is math conversation posters from a workshop that I went to. Just different ways of those starter sentences for talking about math. That was very good. And then this was something from California, and it was a whiteboard that you can use with your students that has basic statements, and then what the students could say if they have a question or if they need something. And we laminated them and had them on the student's desk, and then they could write out the sentence and gave them practice in saying things. Those are just a few resources I wanted to share this time. If you look on the note taker, I put some blanks, resources to share. So if you have a resource, I hope someone's already putting something in there. If you have a resource to share, we'll include it next time and let you talk about it maybe, or just, we have a lot of new ELD teachers coming in that don't know where to start. And I thought this would be a good place for us to share information with them so that they have some resources for their toolbox as they move through their first years as an ESL teacher. And that being said, again, as I said, we have male specialists that you can collaborate with at any time. This is the email address for each of them. They are happy to answer any questions or help you, come to your schools and visit with you, help with professional development, you name it. So if you get stuck or you need something, they'll be happy to work with you at any time. And the map here shows you what region each one works with if you don't know which one to contact for your area. And that is pretty much all I have to share today. It was, like I said, I tried to make it short and sweet, knowing that this was the beginning of school and you guys have a lot on your plate right now. But I'm going to leave the last part of our session today open for questions if you have any. And if you would, please complete this evaluation, because my bosses still look at that to see how we're doing. If I copy the link address, I'll put it in the chat here. There we go. And as I said, if you have any questions, this is a good time to ask. And I'm going to stop talking.
Thank you, Cammie.
My pleasure. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and just let you guys ask any questions that you may have. I know there's a lot of stuff to throw at you, but please take time, go back and look at the note taker and check out the information that was shared.
Hey, do you want me to fill out the
Oh,
evaluation?
you can. It's anonymous. You don't have to put your name.
Right.
If you want to, you may, which I think Julie always does.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda.
I'm
Happy
sorry,
birthday.
I was so late.
Happy birthday to your husband.
Oh, thanks. My son was on his way to work, locked his keys in the car
Oh,
with the motor on.
oh, not good.
So I had to take him to work. We're still waiting for a locksmith to come and
Oh, no.
I
Hopefully
mean,
it's going to run out of gas, and that's
I know.
expensive.
I know.
How bad?
And as upset as I am because he's late for work too, I actually did the same thing when I was in college. So
Oh,
I can't be too mad.
with the engine running. Oh, no.
Yep.
Not good.
So,
Hopefully it doesn't take long for someone to come and unlock it.
well, plus we have an extra key,
Oh.
but we don't know where it is.
Oh, of course.
This has been a comedy of errors. I'm sorry, I missed it. That the last 5 minutes I was on was like amazing.
Well, thanks.
Those resources are wow.